Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to install a Boyesen clutch cover on a 2018 SX250. First step before I go ahead and do the unboxing for that cover, you got to make sure that you flip the bike over to let all the oil sit to one side of the engine. That way you don't have to drain your engine, and that way you don't have to redo your oil if you already did a recent oil change. Alright, so as you can see, this is the side that the clutch cover's on. It's going to be on your right hand side. Most bikes it is like that. I don't think I've ever seen a bike with one on the left side, other than I think a Cristini, if you've ever heard of that bike. But you're going to go ahead and lean the bike away from this side to let all that oil that's sitting right here push over to the other side of the bike. If you have a bike stand, it makes it super simple. You're just going to take this, twist your bars, and set it on the other side like I'm about to do right now. Now when you lean your bike over to the side, you are going to want to make sure that you turn your fuel off. If you have a carbureted bike, if you leave the fuel on, the float will stick and then all your fuel will dump out of your bike. So make sure you turn it off before you flip it. This is the side that we're going to be working on, so there are a couple steps before we go ahead and take this one off, but I'm going to go ahead and do that unboxing now and show you the clutch cover itself. When installing an aftermarket clutch cover, you are going to want to make sure that your oil filler cap is the same as your stock one. So I'm gonna take this filler cap off, and I'm gonna take this with me and make sure that this fits on the new clutch cover that I got. As always, some nice stickers. Here's the clutch cover. And I also ordered, oh, they sent me two stickers, nice. And I ordered a KTM wash cover to replace the air filter while I'm washing the bike to clean out the air box. Put this off to the side, don't need this right now. Here is the clutch cover. I ordered it in a magnesium finish. It's gonna look really cool. It has that factory look to it. Open this up. And there it is. So first step, take your old filler cap and make sure it screws into this one. It appears that mine does, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and clean it. And what I see that's different with this compared to my previous clutch cover is this one has a gasket. I'm not a big fan of the gasket ones. I do prefer that it has an O-ring on the inside. They'll cut a little channel into this little seal right here and they'll stick an O-ring inside there. I prefer that a lot better, but we'll see how this gasket goes. And then Boyesen also sent me a couple of these stickers, which are really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this. I'm gonna take this over to the bike and we're gonna get started with the installation. All right, so first step, you can see that there are 7 bolts. They are not all the same size. So what I like to do before I go ahead and start taking off these complex parts, I'm gonna go ahead and set it on the cardboard that the new clutch cover came in, and I'm gonna trace it. Now, when I lift it up, I'm gonna have a rough drawing of how it looks. So there's a hole here, 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 and then the little spring hole right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now when I remove the bolts from the old clutch cover, as soon as I take them out, I'm gonna stick them in the hole that it came out of, so that way they go back in the correct positions. First step, grab yourself an 8mm. All of these bolts are 8mm, and you're going to have to remove this bolt right here. This is the bolt for your rear brake. It's gonna loosen up this pedal and get it out of the way to help the clutch cover clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this bolt right now. Now that this bolt is removed, we can go ahead and move over to this spring right here. This is the spring that holds your brake pedal to the engine block itself. The best way to do this is with a spring puller. It's just a hook on the end. All you're gonna do, feed the hook around that spring and slowly creep it out of the hole that it's in. Once you got that hook in there and you get the spring out, just guide the rest of that spring out of the hole that it's secured to, and now you have your spring out of the bike. Now, as you can see, this brake pedal can get pressed down all the way, and this whole clutch case is open. Now what we're gonna start to do is take out these mounting bolts right here. To help you stick them into the cardboard, all you're gonna do is you're gonna take a knife and you're gonna cut a slit where every single one of these bolts needs to go. And as you can see, I already put the brake pedal bolt in a separate spot. That way it doesn't get mixed up with the rest. So I'm gonna put this off to the side and I'm gonna start taking these bolts out and lining them up to the spot they need to go. There's an accurate description of how different the sizes are. You're not gonna wanna put this size in here and this size in here. It's not gonna work the right way. So make sure you follow this little diagram that I did, and it'll help you sort all your bolts out.
A few moments later.
Now that all the bolts are in, this is obviously the bottom. This is where it says KTM, and then this side points up. Now I know which bolt needs to go to what hole. Once you have all of these bolts out, visually inspect to make sure they're all clear, and then all you're gonna do is just wiggle it loose, just shake it back and forth like this, and the whole cover will pop off. This is that style that I showed you before with that O-ring all the way around here. I very much prefer this style because O-rings are a lot more durable than gaskets are, but it's not really that big a deal. I'll just have to keep buying gaskets every time I need to do that instead of checking out this O-ring. So I'm gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a shop towel and some brake cleaner, and I'm gonna clean this seal up right here to make sure that gasket sticks really well. Don't take this and spray it in here because you're gonna loosen up that oil and you don't want that oil to lose its viscosity. So you're just gonna take a rag, spraying away from the bike, get it wet, and just lightly clean up this edge and clean up the mating surface. Alright, now that this mating surface is clean, you're also going to do this. Just because it came from the factory does not mean that it's the cleanest thing ever. So just rub it down, make sure you get all those metal shavings and dust off, and then you're ready to go. Now that this is clean, first you're going to visually check where this gasket will go. So as you can see right here, this side is incorrect because they don't line up. So I'm going to flip it and see if this side works. And this is the side that works. So the lettering is gonna go towards the bike and the bare side is gonna come away from the bike. So taking this and just flipping it, this side will go this way. And I'm just gonna lightly put the gasket on there to where the majority of these holes will line up. Taking your clutch cover, grab a bolt, preferably a longer one, feed it through your first hole, grab that gasket, and just set it down just like that. Grab another bolt, pick up your plate, grab the rest of the gasket, and start snugging them down just a little bit, and now your gasket is perfectly in place. Grab the rest of your bolts and feed them through. Don't tighten anything down just yet. Now that all the bolts are in, I'm gonna start with this top corner one, and I'm just gonna barely tighten it down. Now it's starting to have a little bit of resistance, so I'm gonna move to the one across from it. So I don't go sideways, I go directly across. Tapping the plate to make sure it's seated. You can see now it's seated. You're just gonna look to make sure that gasket goes all the way around. If there's a spot where that gasket is missing, you wanna double check it to make sure you didn't pinch it or crease it, and that way there's a perfect seal around. So now moving across, I'm gonna go across again, which is this way. And you're gonna kind of move in like a star pattern. Now that all these bolts are snug, I'm gonna go back to the first one again and just tighten it down just a little bit more because it loosened it up from tightening down the other ones. Now just go in a circle, make sure they're all the same tightness. This is good. You're gonna grab a torque wrench, you're gonna go into your owner's manual, and you're gonna torque these in sequence in that star pattern with the recommended amount of torque. I'm gonna go grab my torque wrench and start doing that for my bike. Make sure you do this very carefully and watch for that torque indication. Now, as you guys can see, this one's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt. What KTM does is they put a Torx bit on here, so I'll just grab a Torx bit and torque it that way. All right, all these are torqued to spec for my bike. Make sure you're checking out your owner's manual. You can find them online. After these are all torqued, before you move on, take your oil filler cap, screw it in there to prevent anything from getting inside of your engine. All right, next step, grab that spring and start feeding your spring through your brake pedal and into the clutch cover. With this installed, these holes right here should align. As you can see right there, grabbing that last bolt, I'm gonna feed it through and snug it down. Once you're done with that, like always, make sure you clean up after yourself.
More moments later.
So, one more thing, I did find a orange filler cap on my old clutch cover from my old bike that I sold, and it does fit this one, so I'm gonna swap those out because I think a little bling would look nice. Now that everything's put away, you can go ahead and flip your bike upright again. Now that the bike is back upright, you're going to want to visually check that gasket and make sure there's nothing leaking. As you can see here, the leakage would probably more from the bottom. So you're going to want to take a look underneath there. And as far as I can see, nothing's leaking, so it's a good seal. Another good thing to do is just run your bike up and make sure you don't find any leaking as well. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so everything runs good, there's no leaks. That means the job's done good. Hope you guys learned something from this video. It's really easy to work on your own bike, don't be afraid to, but always ask your local mechanic if you do have anything you're not sure of. I think the bike looks really good with this. That magnesium color is like a very light tan. It's not as dark as this pipe. I actually thought it was going to be like this color, but it's a little light tan. I really wish Boyesen made a super cooler kit for the KTMs. I was gonna get the matching set because it comes in this color, and then this water pump cover is the same thing. Boyesen, if you were watching this, please make a super cooler kit for the KTMs. I think it would look sick. But I really like the way this looks. It's a great addition to the bike. I'm going riding this weekend. I don't think I'm gonna take the camera with me because I still want to feel the bike out before I make videos about it. But I'm really excited for that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Please comment anything you're interested on learning how to do. I'm always down to help you guys out for that. I really like working on my own bike. I do my own things. Shout out to Chris from RRP for helping me out with my suspension. I did that the other day and it works perfectly. He taught me how to do it over the phone. Great guy. Thank you guys again for watching and have a good one.